Hey family, look, this is part of my video from earlier. I just want to say this right, and I said it on my other, when I was closing out my TikTok. As a human rights advocate, right, as a community activist, as a person, and I'm from Baltimore City, so I can only speak for Baltimore City. As a person that uses his platform, this is the talk show, to be able to talk about things that I know a lot of people is uncomfortable. I already know it. That's why when I look at keeping life real, keeping life real, real life conversations, real life stories. The way my platform is set up, I want you to be able to come up. I don't want you to try to talk the whole show, but I want you to come up. And I'm going to say you can dump. You can dump to get that stress off of you. I have no problem with that. So understand this, the reason why I'm saying that, because I sponsor men and women. And then I open up the program to work with women and children and helping them to put their lives back in order. I can only go off of my personal experiences, right, as being a sponsor, which in other, I was going to say situations, right, but in other stances, I am considered as a life coach, okay? I was going to get my license or certificate in being a life coach, but as I was reading up on it, it talks about it's better not to have it because now I'm not held bound by HIPAA laws. Let me make that clear. I am not, as a sponsor to help people deal with, everybody haven't been raped or nothing like that, right? They haven't been raped. They haven't been molested. Some of them just come from abandonment issues, mental, emotional, and spiritual abuse. The goal is to just help you get a balance back over your life as far as having peace in those areas, right? That's where I'm at. So now, when it comes to our licensed professionals, I need y'all. When it comes to our licensed professionals, now I need y'all because I'm talking about for the clients. I need y'all because I understand y'all are more familiar with the brain and the work that y'all have done, as far as your studying and getting your degrees or the letters behind your name. I know when it comes to the brain on the clinical side of things, y'all are the professional ones in that way. But my goal with anybody that I deal with is to help them be honest with themselves, help them to have faith back in themselves, help them to trust back in themselves. Because most people are dealing with low self-esteem. Most people dealing with depression. Most people feeling like, well, I ain't nothing, I ain't gonna never be nothing, stuff like that. But my goal is to help build them back up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Any relationship starts with communication. Whether it's you and your wife, whether it's you and your husband, whether it's you and your girlfriend, whether it's, boyfriend, girlfriend relationships, friendships. It all starts with communication. Now, you the one, the individual, got to look at being honest, faithful, and truthful. That's in any relationship. It don't have to be sleeping with nobody and all of that, because you're being honest with yourself. When I say stuff out my mouth, I'm not talking about nobody else. Okay? I want y'all to get that clear. To thy own self. To thy own self be true. And I know how hard it is sometimes for people to be honest with themselves. Because you could not tell me back in the days, right? All the deceitful stuff I was doing in my life, you could not tell me I was wrong. I had to see it for myself. You might have seen it, but if I didn't see it, you could not tell me I was wrong. Smoking weed at 11. Drinking Thunderbird at 13. I couldn't wait to, it was like I was 13 years old, I'm a teenager. I became legal to drink. 13 years old. That, because I became a teenager, that was like a license for me to start drinking Thunderbird. 14 years old, snorting cocaine. How many people can talk about themselves like this? Well, tell on themselves. I'm a snitch. I'm snitching on Steve Copeland. On themselves. 15 years old. I remember asking my cousin, I said, can you shoot this? She said, yeah. I said, well, hit me. Come on, y'all. So now being grown, when I look back at our young people, the ones that's out there now, you know, getting high, and some of them was younger than that. I went into like Shepherd Pratt because I did H&I early on, right? Hospitals and institutions, right? So when I went into like Shepherd Pratt, and I seen our babies there. When I went into Woodburn, I'm looking at our young babies there, and I'm like, oh my God. Now see, mind you, I'm grown. So now looking at them at 10, younger, or stuff like that, I was shocked. But guess what? Because I was looking back at myself. And I was like, oh my God. Rather than me getting high to enjoy life, and like most kids out there having fun and enjoying themselves, and in the sports and in the music, in the singing, in the dancing, in the modeling and all of that, I'm running around getting high. Can y'all understand why I do what I do? I can't do this by myself. I'm looking at the village. I'm looking at the village, right? Talking about us coming together. It's going to take the community. I can't blame Brandon Scott. I can't blame Ivan Bates. I can't blame the commissioner. I can't blame none of them that's into the lawmakers, right? They're not in the community, destroying the community. It's our people. So we had to come up with programs and ways and means to slow a lot of this down. That's where I come in at as a community organizer. But guess what? I don't have to break my neck no more like I used to. This is my way of putting the message out, my mouth. And mentioning some of the programs or organizations and the businesses that's in the community doing it in Baltimore City. And if I decide I want to go hang out with We Ours Us, I can. If I decide I want to go meet up with the Baltimore Peace Movement, I can. If I decide I want to go down there with Cherie while she feeding the people, I can. If I want to go down City Hall when Christina is advocating for the homeless and the less fortunate, I can, because I'm a homeless advocate. I can, but this is my way of getting the message out. The Couch Conversation, the Couch Talk Show. I love y'all.